Hey there, everybody. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the Political Deep Dive. This week, I'm very excited to talk to Michelle MacCutcheon, the activism coordinator for the LP, and we'll bring her on here in a moment. But I do want to talk about our 50th anniversary. That's coming up in about a little less than 3 weeks now. So 27th, 28th in Denver, Colorado. I look forward to seeing as many people there as possible. Let me share with you where you need to find where you need to go to see this, and that is at 50.lp.org, or you can go to lp.org/50. Again, it's in Denver, Colorado, Greenwood Village section, which is in the southeast part of the city area, the suburbs, I guess. And it is the Lake House at Pelican Bay. So come on out. We'd love to see you there. You can see that it's located in the southeast part of the city. So, come on out, join us. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be speakers and presentation, but it's not going to be like debate or anything like that, or it's nothing like a meeting or anything. It's just a celebration of us, cracking that 50-year mark and where we've been and where we're going. And I look forward to seeing as many people. I just got all my travel and everything booked for it. So look forward to seeing everybody there, and we'll have a tremendous time. The other thing I usually brief at the beginning of these shows is our candidate and affiliate training. But Michelle and I are going to talk about that extensively tonight, and I look forward to talking with her about that. So let's bring her on. Michelle MacCutcheon, how are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me this evening. This is an exciting subject, getting active in the LP. How do we do that? And you are the person to talk to. So we're looking forward to that. So, but first, tell us who you are, where you're from, and kind of that basic info stuff about you.
I'm an Ohioan, born and bred, lived in Southwest Ohio my whole life. I've been LP for 26 years, so some of our viewers probably weren't alive at the time I joined the party. Mom of one, grandma of one, a big fan of anything Maine. I love the ocean and the New England coast. Wiener dogs and Stephen King, in addition to my passion for the Libertarian Party and our cause.
Awesome. So what attracts you to Maine?
Originally, we only went up because my husband had family history in there, and he wanted to share the town his grandparents, had retired to move back to their roots, and he would go on in between his dad's deployments, and they would stay for like a month up there at a time. And I set foot in that town and fell in love with the people and just the simple way of life. The way life should be. Maine's like catchy little saying. It's so true.
Yeah, awesome. So I'd like to hear everyone's origin story about how you got involved in politics, and specifically how you got involved in the Libertarian Party.
Well, brevity is not really my strong suit, but I will certainly try. So went to vote in my first election. This was kind of the first seat, my first presidential election. I was not quite 22, just a few weeks away, and very, very, very expecting with my one and only. And I went to go vote for president, and I'm like, who's this Ron Paul guy? So this was 88. And never really thought much more of it. I mean, you're about ready to drop a baby. That's kind of the furthest thing from your mind. And I came home one day about 5 years later. My husband was on a staycation, and he is very even keel, like low key, steady as she goes. Grabs me by the forearms and he goes, come here, you got to see this. And the TV was on C-SPAN. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't like politics. And he goes, no, shh, listen. And he goes, they make so much sense. So he joined right then, despite all the little, ticker saying, call 1-800-ELECT-US. I guess I didn't realize it was to join the party or whatever. I was listening to what the speakers were saying, not focused on what was on the screen. So 3 years later, when his renewal came, I was like, hey, I want to be one. And he goes, I didn't think you'd be interested. I totally am. So he got me one, and it got here before my birthday that year. So that was 95. I wasn't super active other than we didn't have any county parties in my area. We had a regional group. So we would go to that, was getting some signatures. He was really the more active one. He ran for U.S. House in 2000. And then about 2014, I stepped up to help with Ohio social media. And we had already founded our county party in 2003, three of us. So my husband, myself, and Charles Galbraith. And that was kind of it, right? Petition signatures and doing the party of the business. I really didn't understand how to be more active, right? Which is where we find a lot of our folks. And then when they needed somebody to step up for Facebook, that's what started the ball rolling. And went on to be membership coordinator, which is an appointed role in Ohio. Went on to be at various levels in Gary Johnson's campaign. I don't even know how many campaigns I've worked since then. And threw my hat in a ring a couple times with the LP. I got an interview for one other role and didn't get it. And this one came available, and the fabulous Jess Neers reached out and said, "Hey, has Dan called you yet?" Which for those watching, that was our executive director. And I'm like, no, should he? And this was like at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. So since she was taking a position with Joe's campaign, she needed a right hand that could do the day-to-day. So that's kind of how it happened. And then I put in for a promotion for activism coordinator. Interesting timing. My grandson went through surgery, and then they post the job.
Yeah.
So I put in for it, but it was a pretty arduous process. It was 2.5 months before it was announced that I got it. 2 interviews.
Wow.
And both were pretty intense interviews and very, very thorough. And I was up against some amazing people, I'm sure. So
I remember taking part in the when we did the communications director interviews. We did the first round, and then JBH and Tyler did the second round, and interviewing all these folks who have just tremendous amounts of experience in various different political forums. It was really interesting to watch that process play out, and be a part of it. But yeah, it is an arduous process. It is a long time. But yeah,
my first one was Tucker Coburn.
Okay.
Which is probably the person I know least on our LNC at the time.
Yeah.
Which was I applauded everybody. Was I'm sure not accidental, and to kind of level the playing field, like insider versus people applying that aren't working currently. And then the interview with JBH and Tyler, and that was very intense.
Yeah. So you mentioned briefly being involved in the Gary Johnson campaigns. You were involved in 2016. Tell us, in your previous positions before coming to the LP, you were a recruiter, like HR type person, right?
Yep, so, I have a lot of retail background, and the HR recruiting has been about a decade now.
Okay, so tell us about your work with the Gary Johnson campaign and how that fits into what you do right now.
Having to be able to recruit volunteers and be able to train them and be able to let them know they're valued, quick response time, making sure people don't get lost in the shuffle, all those. I started originally as Ohio director, and I found out on a conference call, which is how most of us find out about our roles in the LP, and had my all but one regional filled by the end of the weekend. My group built in over 200 people in that group already for Ohio volunteers that were going to be the real boots on the ground. And it went up to like almost 1,000 people that were the really active ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's fantastic. So now you're activism coordinator for the LP now. So tell us about your day-to-day work. What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So contact the people that sign up to volunteer, whether they're new members, whether they're just people signing up for the email, but they say, yes, I'm interested in volunteering, whether they just fill out the volunteer form. I call them. If they do not provide a phone number, I email them and ask if, they have a best phone number, I'd like to have a phone call and see what they're interested in doing. Oftentimes people find our site and they want to get involved in state level only. So then I connect them in with that. If they are, I let them know what I've got going on currently, which I'll share with the audience tonight. Wyoming has 2 bills. A week ago Friday, the Secretary of State finally approved the 3rd round of verbiage. He kept sending it back with corrections. But a week ago Friday morning, he approved it. So there is petitioning going on right now to get Wyoming to have medical cannabis as well as decriminalization. So 2 separate bills. And so I'm helping do the boots on the ground team, and I'll be training all the phone and text bankers and managing them. So I do have a current project if somebody is interested in getting involved in that. So I'm onboarding all those people right now that are interested. So
Fantastic. So what other projects are you working on besides that project?
that is my big one. Another one I'm trying to do, I know, that's a nice lead in. I appreciate that. Another one I'm working on that not a lot of people know, and my coworker, Kara Schultz, our candidate recruitment specialist, has been working on this for a while. But any kind of job descriptions, standard operating procedures, or SOPs, as people always call them, or any kind of printables, trying to house that on the LP Action and the LP Wiki as password protected, so we don't lose that institutional knowledge. There's no sense to keep reinventing the wheel. So I'm partnering a lot with Valerie Sarwark for affiliate support and trying to be, bridge that divide between national and states and people who need this information so that they can do their best job, whether it be working on a campaign or doing an outreach booth or what have you. The other huge project I'm working on right now is I'm helping with regional trainings. And there are 8 regions for the LP. We have 3 that are complete now. Region 1 was out west in Salt Lake City. Region 2 was actually our first one Memorial Day weekend, and that was in Atlanta. Region 5 was this last weekend, and that was in Virginia Beach, which you know because you and I were there together. Oh, look at you being all certified.
I'm all certified. Well, I'm certifiable. Now I'm certified.
And the next one is this coming weekend in Long Beach, California for Region 4.
Yeah. So Region 4, Long Beach, California, so much drama in the LBC. But Tim Lewis, candidate for.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. We're gonna have Tim on in September sometime. We're gonna do like a candidate palooza for all of our candidates running in the off-year election, trying to get exposure before we start getting into. We no longer have an election day. We have like an election season. It goes from right around the 1st of October until election day. So, we want to get that information out to people before people start going to the polls. So, look forward to having him on in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's never. Oh, Josh, he's actually from the county just north of me, and he's been to my county meetings. Super sweet. I've met like their whole family.
Awesome.
Him, his wonderful wife, Erin, their daughter, whose name I will not reveal because she's not an adult. Yep. But there's so much opportunity in that candidate and campaign track to win. And I think you were in the affiliates side,
yes,
right?
Leadership, yeah.
But we're always taking in the feedback and we're trying to make it stronger. We've gotten extremely helpful feedback from the first 3. One of the things that has really made me excited is, would you recommend this to your friends? And we always get very high.
Absolutely. I will go to bat for this training because, I've been involved in the LP since 2012 and this was the best, I love the conventions. I love getting together and affiliate meetings and all that stuff. This is the best LP production that I've been involved with. I thought it was fantastic from jump, and all the information that I got at this on the affiliate leadership side makes me want to go to a subsequent one. In there's one in Atlantic City that's coming up in October.
Yes, I still need to switch my. So Atlantic City, as you know, originally it was going to be in Newark, and it
Yeah.
was going to be, they were going to try to pull everything off in 3 weeks, and it just couldn't quite happen. So that is going to be in October. But my tickets, because I had limited time, were already booked for the one that was supposed to be like early to mid-May. So I still need to call the airline and finagle all that for the October. I'm actually doing all 8 trainings. So Atlantic City will be cool. I've never been there. I've never seen the Pacific Ocean. Hey, Michelle. Another Michelle. Woo-woo.
Yeah.
There could be a whole Michelle caucus, but I'm not allowed to be part of caucuses. But there could be. I just want to throw that out there, just in case somebody says, "Oh, caucus." But
there's so many caucuses. There's a caucus of people not with whose name does not start with J.
I believe I'm in that one. Yeah, I'm in
And I think there's one
that
that doesn't start with R.
There is one to honor Dune, and I can't remember what Chase Oliver called
Oh,
that.
yes. I can't remember what he called it, but yeah, I know.
It's not something sandworm. It's not something easy to remember. But there's also, Waffle House Caucus, Drinkers Caucus. I'm in the Pet Caucus because
I'm in the Pet Caucus as well. I'm in the Porter Caucus.
I am not.
Most people love the dark beers like me.
The No Caucus Caucus. There is a anti-caucus group.
There's I'm in too many caucuses that Deborah Altman started.
All the ones I was in for a long while were the ones that Kim Ruff started.
Yes, the Tigers and Meth Caucus. Some really good ones.
I mean, this is what happens when you work, 18-hour days in politics. You make up silly caucuses for entertainment.
Absolutely.
But I've really gotten a lot out of the training too, right?
Yeah.
Things I'm learning from people and different ways to look at things. One of the cool, ideas that somebody wanted to do for a ranked choice fundraiser was do craft beers in their area and do a ranked choice with craft beers. And I'm like, why did I not think of this? This is fabulous.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I hope that works.
And that was actually from the Virginia training. But you see, you were in the affiliate, and that was in the campaign room when I was doing the campaign outreach class. I challenged everybody. Well, I don't want to say what, because then people watching this still have to go, might have a heads up.
You still have to go.
No, but I don't want them to be able to know their answer ahead of time.
Oh, there you go.
I want to spur that conversation. So I was almost going to give away a hint, but it is soup to nuts. We're going to have higher level training at Reno for our convention in 2022. Mm-hmm. But honestly, if we can get everybody to be able to disseminate, there's a lot of information, as you know, in 2 full days of training. It's like information overload. Yeah. But get people to start doing at least a portion of what they learned there, then the next level will make sense, right? Mm. Get down to the nitty gritty, like, exactly, your day breakdown on communications, an hour of what the communications director does in their day to day and how to do those deep dives like Tara does with fundraising. Yeah. And go even deeper. She's phenomenal.
Yeah. If you go to I think she does both. She does a class for both tracks, right?
Yes. And she will be teaching in California too. She's one of the trainers.
I can't recommend that class enough, because that gives you the ideas. Because I just started with a few people here in the Eastern Panhandle. We just started an affiliate, and we're trying to figure out, how do we start raising funds? How do to do the basic communication stuff, like sending a postcard mailer to our, the registered libertarians in our area. This is all the valuable stuff that you'll start picking up on while when you're doing the classes. So tell people about some of the classes that you're teaching.
I'm teaching a lot in California, like a lot. We are going to change it up a little bit And my campaign outreach is now going to be just an outreach. And I'm going to tweak the presentation so that it can be for both affiliates and campaigns. So
Okay.
Kara called me and said, that's consistently the one I'm getting like a ton of excellent feedback. And she doesn't want the affiliate people not to understand how to reach outside our circles, like versus that, inner conversation versus that outer conversation. So I'll be teaching outreach. I'll be teaching volunteer recruitment and retention again. And that one I do for both campaigns and affiliates. And I will also be teaching communications for both.
Sure.
So I'm teaching 5 hours, 4 hours, plus the roundtables and stuff.
Yeah, those are, I mean, and even though you're in different tracks, there are certain classes that are kind of group classes. So whether you're a candidate or affiliate leadership, you're going to get exposed to, during that training. But again, we'll get into some more questions about the training. But let's kind of circle back to some of the activism stuff. I think one of the hard things when it comes to starting an affiliate, starting a campaign, is how do you identify people's strengths and weaknesses and where to put them into a campaign?
Typically, if you are talking to someone on the phone, like if you have somebody, and we talked about this in the training, who's just like your welcome wagon person, right? Somebody signs up on the site and somebody is designated to call them and see, how they're doing, whatever. It needs to be somebody with a lot of detail in their listening skills, because people are going to give you those clues about themselves. They're going to tell you what their experience is, what they enjoy. And if you have an outline of skills for each of your roles, you're going to then be able to go, well, that wouldn't be a fit for Joe at all. But hey, he'd be amazing over here. Or hey, Sue, you'd be great over here. That one you were looking at, this is what it does. Do you even want that? And she'd be like, no, I didn't know that's what that was. So knowing going in and having those, at least a bullet point laundry list of what you were looking for in that individual helps. And we cannot have enough entry level boots on the ground people, because that's how I got started, right? Was somebody showed me how to petition, and now I can petition in my sleep. Somebody showed me how to form their county affiliate. So the three of us went off and kept going and kept having meetings until we had enough people that we formed our county affiliate. That is key. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, right? Nothing is 100%.
Sure.
I mean, just like with a job, sometimes you're going to have a bad hire. Sometimes that's not going to be a good fit. And then usually pulling people aside and having that discussion, like, hey, are you struggling? Finding that disconnect and finding where they might be happier before they run off. Those are all things. If you have that open dialogue and you appreciate your people, it's always going to be fine. It's a learned skill, but once you start exercising that muscle, like anything else, you're going to get good at it, right? I have a little bit of an advantage. Years and years and years and years and years of recruiting. So it only takes me like a couple of minutes on a call, and I'm already, before the person can hardly even finish, I'm already zeroing in on where I need them.
Where you need to fit them. So the other big thing when it comes to activism is, how do you avoid burnout? How do you avoid activist burnout?
It's super hard because there is so much work to be done. It's very easy to take on too many projects. I think I already joked about being voluntold in this call. That's how I ended up with most of my campaign roles. Gary's was like, I believe, the only campaign I actually volunteered for out of all the ones I've been on, with the exception of doing setup or social media for a couple other people that I did volunteer for. But I got voluntold I was going to be the volunteer coordinator for a gubernatorial campaign while I was, still being a recruiter and available 24/7. And I'm like, I am not your person because I can't be a quick responder. So training my replacement, and then they didn't let me go. So I was considered an advisor to the campaign, when in fact I was an occasional advisor and then just a volunteer worker bee with phone banking, text banking, all that, a few events. And that was, a gubernatorial race, and Ohio was needing a certain percentage in that race, right?
Mhm.
So to avoid burnout, you have to be able to say no. You have to have an honest discussion with yourself about how many hours you can fit in a week without it negatively impacting your job, your family, your mental or physical health. You have to be honest with yourself. And if you get in over your head, it's okay to go to somebody and say, I need to reevaluate this. Let's look at what I can do that's not quite such a time commitment or resources commitment or what have you. And that's where it helps in the beginning to have a volunteer form that will include how many hours are you willing to give. Somebody might only be working 20 hours a week and they're like, oh, I could do another 15. Somebody else might be working 60 to 80-hour weeks and say, I can give you 2.
Yeah.
And having that, so going in, knowing, asking for a resume, like for people's day jobs, is great. A lot of people may not be comfortable providing that, but getting an idea of their professional work history or prior volunteer, you're going to know, ask busy people to get things done. You're going to know how busy they were, just again, by talking with them.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you bite off too much to talk to somebody and get your stuff turned over and go back down to a role that is doable for you. Please, God, do not ghost. Do not take on so much that you just, evaporate into thin air and nobody can find you.
I think that's, one, it's a problem. I know some people just want to be helpful and want to do all the things and want to be seen as that person that, that campaigns rely on or an affiliate relies on. And I think early on in my LP career that I did take on a few more roles than I probably should have, relative to my experience either in that position or in the area that I was representing. I within 9 months of living in Northern Virginia, I was already the chair of LP Nova and the 8th District on the State Central Committee of Virginia. So, and that was just me volunteering for things. And that's, you have to be honest with yourself about, rather than jumping in head, feet first and taking all the roles, sit back for a little bit and learn from people, talk with people. If you're interested in taking a position with the LP, shadow somebody that's doing the position already. I mean, that's there are plenty of ways for us to affect that change and get people married up to positions that, one, they're familiar with, and two, feel confident in doing. So, one is be honest with yourself, but also I know that there are some affiliates that are so desperate for people to help and to get people into help that they tend to overload a new volunteer. I've seen volunteers brought in and just, all of a sudden they go from, hey, I just signed up on the website last week, to, oh, great, you're the secretary. Or you're running this massive fundraiser that we need to raise money for our project. And you either have somebody that sinks or swims, and that's great. You're going to have a great volunteer if they swim. But far too often you sink someone that probably would have been a good volunteer in the long run.
Yes. One thing we're doing in our county, I do not want to step up to a leadership role in that, because I don't feel, with as much as I'm traveling for national, that I would be a good chair, right? I can't do weekend events if I'm traveling this much. I won't be here. It's a little difficult to be an effective chair if you are out of state. Tithing their time. That's a great idea. 10% of their work week, so 4 hours toward their volunteer endeavor. I like that, Tim. I may swipe that out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
To give people like a ballpark of what to go. But myself and somebody from the next county over are mentoring two men who have said they are willing to step into leadership roles so my county can reaffiliate and be, a recognized county party again. So we've done a couple of extra meetings. We're all getting together again in August, and we don't elect them till September. We have to meet our state requirements for 30 days notice. So I put 30 days notice up everywhere, but we didn't know we were to do this in time to make it for our August 11th meeting. So it'll be September 8th. But we've got one that wants to run for chair. The other one's going to be a city council candidate. So he is thinking probably secretary. But they've got someone to lean on. And having that shadow and that somebody to go to for questions is key.
Yeah.
But a whole group of us are heading up for our Ohio State conference in the same car.
Cool. So you've got for our new members, every Tuesday you do a new affiliate or new member kind of a Zoom call orientation. Tell everyone about that.
So every Tuesday at 8 Eastern, anybody who signs up of our new members, and it comes like in your new welcome email. Any existing members who are currently in National Slack, I post it in there as well, so they would see it there. But we cover like a 10-ish minute presentation on kind of the lay of the land, like where you go to find information, what's the state of the LP, what kind of resources are there for me as a member. And it is, then we open it up for conversation. And we've had everything from somebody wanting the, line in the sand on our immigration policy to people saying, I finally left the Republican Party because they're not standing against mandates and I want to run for office. I need all the links. Where do I start, And so we've covered all kinds of things in those, but it's a great chance for people who are new to get to interact with myself. My coworker, Drew Ria from Pennsylvania, typically comes on there. He's for membership. And it's a nice chance for them to get to know some people in the party and to be welcomed. And for those who are looking to understand, the lay of the land and do I want to get more active, it's a great toe in the water with zero commitment.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been wanting to sit in on them, but I also have another volunteer commitment that I'm doing every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So I've not been able to sit in on it, but I definitely do once that commitment's over here in the next couple months. So
I did miss one. I was unable to attend one of the affiliate support committee ones that I wanted to be on to be able to support Valerie and everything. It was like it was the 8 o'clock Tuesday, and I'm like, I can't make it. And I'm taking continuing education and activism. Our website interaction. Oh, here we go, Josh. I entered my info. I get the state newsletter, but nothing for my county I live in, and it won't be. And I want to be more involved. Josh, I can get you more connected in. I will get you offline. Don't let me forget, and I will get you some links.
That's why she's here, folks.
Josh, I will take you to your chair, but I don't know that Ohio that we have much going out county-wise as far as like newsletters, but there should be meeting invites going out in emails.
Yeah,
I have to teach my guys now to do that because, in a month and a half, then they're going to take those reins. I still have access right now, but truly with everything else going on, I would rather not.
Well, I will tell you that for I'm an IT director for West Virginia, and I get all of the emails that come in for info@lpwv.org. I will tell you that 90% of them are not even the English language. I get Cyrillic, I get Vietnamese, I get I get some Arabic sometimes. It's a lot of stuff to get through to find the one or two emails of people actually asking legit questions. The rest of them are usually like spam of some sort, like Ray-Ban sunglasses or something like that.
There is a very good reason if you go to lpo.org that Ohio does not have emails on the website.
Yeah.
We used to get just absolutely bombarded. When I was membership, it was nothing to wake up to 200 emails. And like you said, 5 or 10 of them are going to be actual non-bot spammy emails.
Oh, it's not even that for us. It's maybe 1 or 2 a month that are actually legit emails. It's good.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we don't get like that many a day. We'll probably get 5 or 10 a day, but
Oh no, we were getting all the ads for enlargement, and it was just awful for so long.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not single. I don't need those ads. Some of the ads I was getting, I'm like,
well, I'm sure enlargement ads aren't going to help me, and the way that they are intending for that too.
And we're libertarians. You guys do you. If you need it, that's fine, but you don't need to email the info@lpwv.org for that stuff, because I'm not going to buy it. But
but with them protected now, I've gotten like 5 in the last maybe 3 months for my county. And one was me testing, back, like, did it go to the inbox, to where does it go? So.
Okay. So tell us about some of the other people that are training with you. I know you got a general cohort of like Kara Schultz and Tara DeSisto and all kinds of great folks there at LPHQ.
So this whole regional training is the brainchild of Kara Schultz, our candidate recruitment specialist. She has done some online trainings, but it simply cannot replace that in-person interaction when everybody's in the room, and that synergy you get with the ideas flowing and the gears in the brain turning. This has been her baby. She fundraised, called around specifically and fundraised to it. So there's no additional cost for any of our members. So all of you guys hearing us talk about regional training that tuned us out, it is not an additional cost for you to come.
Exactly.
Do you have the right link?
I believe so. This is the one.
Okay.
This is the general first page link.
Okay. Kara Schultz is a 2-time elected city councilwoman. She was key in the Minnesota campaign for Gary Johnson, and she is incredible with onboarding all of our candidates. But this is her brainchild. She does all kinds of classes throughout. When Tara does it, Tara does all the fundraising. The other people that are sometimes, depending on what training you're going to, might be Becca or Chris teaching fundraising, who are part of Tara's team and who are equally as phenomenal. But those are all national staff. We also have Steve Sheets did a deep dive into membership growth. I think you got to take that class.
Yep, that was fantastic.
I bet it was. I've seen Kevin do that one.
Yeah, so this is the cohort that's teaching in Long Beach.
Yes.
Next week.
Yes.
Including you. Look at you there.
Look at me. I need to get back down to that weight. But so who else? Who else do we have teaching? Becca's teaching. Apollo Pizzell, of course, is in there. Apollo is our candidate support specialist, and he is the Frontier Project person. So he was key in getting Marshall Burt elected, our first state rep win in over 20 years out in Wyoming. He is key with both of the Wyoming marijuana initiatives, and he and I are working kind of in tandem, where I'm providing that online support and, onboarding and stuff like that for him. Who else do we have coming up that will be some of our trainings?
I see Kevin gone here.
Yeah, Kevin did, he did the one in Atlanta. And actually he is doing, either he or Steve are doing the one in California. And I know he's up there, but I think Steve actually is subbing in for him.
Oh, Steve's going out to California. Awesome.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, Steve's fun.
Don't quote me on that, because it's Sunday and my work brain is not as engaged maybe as it should be. But it's a phenomenal. We've had Caitlin Cloven
Yep.
doing
Yeah.
communications, right? She did communications at both Atlanta and then in Virginia Beach.
Yep.
I covered communications for Salt Lake City. One of the classes for campaigns actually was co-taught with Nick Sarwark.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you stay in LP long enough, you will get to teach side by side with people you admire, and it's a lot of fun. We're all one big family, so that was fun. And I'm going to be seeing Carol. So Carol's doing the Shreveport training.
Yep.
So Region 7 training is in Shreveport. And you know what? I don't have it on my calendar in this room.
I can bring it up here in a
I
sec.
think it is.
That is the 25th.
Yes. 25th and 26th of September.
So here are the locations. Remember that you can attend, even if you're not a resident of one of the regions that the training is being held in, you can attend them. Just come to this website, mylp.org, and you can find the 2021 Regional Affiliate and Campaign Training Initiative, and find any one of these remaining 5 trainings. So Long Beach, California is next week. If you're in the California area, Demata, Phoenix, and did not get a chance to go to the Region 1 training, come on out to Los Angeles, Long Beach, and do the training there. The 25th is the training in Shreveport, Louisiana. So Region 7. But again, if you're close to that area, come on down. One of the interesting things we had in Virginia Beach is we had 2 people from LP Kansas come out to train with us. And it was great to meet them and hear about their experience in Kansas, because it's a little different than what we've got going on in Virginia, West Virginia, in Region 5. So Iowa, we've got in Des Moines. That's going to be September 18th. And I think that's the next one after after Long Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, so Des Moines, because we've got 50th, and then we've got the LNC meeting the following week. So that.
Then we've got back to back. We've got Des Moines and Shreveport.
Yep.
And then the following month in October, we're doing Atlantic City and
Atlantic City.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, Atlantic City is October 9th, and Indianapolis is the 16th. Yeah, 16th. So
after the 16th, I anticipate, or after the 17th, that I will be substantially less tired and substantially more fulfilled.
Yeah, you definitely take a weekend off. Enjoy it, and maybe even take a week off. I think.
Hey, Tyler.
Tyler, give her a week off.
Yeah.
Give her a week off.
Yeah, I'm not that close to an election. I would probably that would give me a stroke. But the amount of enthusiasm these are met with, and the people that are taking 2 days out of their weekend to come and commit to this and spend the night in a hotel and, really take in this training and be participants in this. It's been very encouraging. If people are watching this and they aren't LP insiders, or they're newer to the party, I will tell you that if you want something that reaffirms that you are in the right place, and you want something where you can see positivity and unity in politics, this is frickin' where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down.
And it's a great thing, because you're getting together, and we've had so much conflict over the last year or so, that you get down and sit down with people of different caucuses and whatever, and you realize that, hey, we're all pulling on the same rope. Let's get this done, and we've got way more to fight out there than we do in here. Let's take care of this stuff, take care of all that stuff out there, and we'll have plenty of time to fight on the back end. So
right, there's too much work to be done to fight, and seeing the
exactly
unity and cooperation that comes out of something like this was phenomenal.
Yeah. So these trainings are going to be every 2 years, right?
Yes, so 2023 will be the next time we do these rounds,
Mhm.
but there will be a higher level certification available at national in various disciplines. So there, what is that going to look like? That hasn't been fleshed out yet. But is there going to be one where we do solely field direction, right? What does a field director do from, or the field director team, and like go down to the volunteer level and work your way up? And this is, the scope of everything the director covers. How do we do that? That's kind of definitely one way we could do those. I do
Sure.
not know that's how they're going to be.
Yeah, yeah. So, the higher level trainings, the reason why we're doing them this year is that, while Virginia certainly has, and New Jersey certainly have elections this year, it is generally an off year for most states. So it's a good chance for us to get together and really, uh, you know, get a deep dive into, how to either be a candidate, or run a candidate campaign, or be an affiliate leader, and make your affiliate as strong as possible so that you have people that can staff those campaigns when they come up. So, again, I really implore people, if you have not had a chance to attend one of these trainings, do so. And if you're not able to, find somebody that did. People who are doing these trainings and get certified will be on the LP website.
They're up.
Yeah, 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 they're up. I already put my stuff up there. Reach out to them and say, hey, didn't get a chance to do it. I don't have the ability to do it. Again, remember, it's free, so all you need to do is get there and get a hotel room for the night. But reach out to somebody who did go to it, and learn from them. Pick their brains and figure out what you can do with your affiliates, or your campaigns. Again, I can't recommend this stuff enough. It's professionalizing the party, which has vastly been needed for a long time. Getting those positions like treasurer, uh, you know, uh, what do you do with an affiliate? How do you engage more people uh, in your local community to come out and be active in your affiliates? How to recruit people to your campaign to fill those vital positions that you need. So, um, what other things are you doing, or what are the things that LP National is doing right now that you're excited about?
I'm really excited about the Wyoming decriminalization and medical bills, right? And
Yeah.
seeing what it looks like to help tandem with another one of my coworkers and really get something out there that makes a difference for people in real time. That is huge. Obviously, these regional trainings, I would have like sold my left arm for these, back in the day.
Sure.
There is, gosh, how much of this? See, and then you're like, well, I could talk about this. Oh, wait, yet I can't not. So our communications director has several things up her sleeve that are going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm very excited for a couple of initiatives she's working on that
Excellent.
we should know about very, very soon, but I don't think any of that has been shared outside of leadership.
Okay.
So sadly, I can't talk about those. Overall, our fundraising is going great. That team is killing it, and that's why that team has expanded so much. Um, most of the team is focused on pulling off Colorado without a hitch right now. The fundraising team is key in volunteer deployment to help everything go smoothly for the guests. So I'm going for fun, but I've already told them to put me to work. So
Okay.
we'll see.
So before we start wrapping up here, let's talk about. Let's say I just joined the LP. Let's say I just joined the LP as state, not national. I don't get that national email inviting me to the into uh, the new member orientation. What would be your advice as to how to get further engaged?
If you just joined and somebody didn't reach out to you right away, reach out to me. I will get you connected in. You could spend all day digging around and may or may not figure out who it is you're supposed to contact. I do this for a living. It's not going to take me any time to figure out who it is and get an email and get you guys tied in. You can reach me at Michelle, MICHELLE at lphq.org. So it's Michelle at lphq.org, and I will get you tied in. If you aren't sure where you see yourself in the grand scheme of things, we can have a phone conversation, right? And kind of, I can give you the overview of how most of this works. I'm not going to probably know specific roles in your state unless they are posted on their site. But I can help you get a feel for where you see yourself time commitment wise. Like, you're probably not going to want to be a campaign manager if you can only give an hour a week. You're probably not going to want to be a county chair if you can only give an hour a week. If you're somebody that can give 10 hours a week, you could be any of those things. That is key. People can reach me at 207-370-1684. I would ask that you not call in the middle of the night. I do want to have a life of some sort. That's that whole work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
So lphq.org. Yes.
I think I got that right.
You did.
I'm
used to seeing it. Yeah. It's funny how the font makes it look different than the font I use or whatever.
Yeah.
But I am very much open to those conversations and trying to get you tied in. If you have some concerns or hesitation about jumping in and volunteering, it really is a great group of people. Oh, I love that Tim's pitching. You should have put up your donate link, Tim. Just saying.
Or, just go to tim4va.com and do that. We got also Joe Hanush for Congress.
I know. I still need to meet Joe Hanush. I see him all over in the same places on the Book of Faces, but I have not. Yes. I don't think we have met. I was very, very thrilled with all. There you go, Tim. With all the new faces I saw when I went down to Region 5. Yeah. It is not common for me to walk into a room of libertarians and only see a few familiar faces. That's exactly what happened in Virginia. So that is how fast we are growing. Yep. Now is the time to be a libertarian. If you're on the fence and you're watching this, join the party. We are putting your money to good use. It's allowing people like me to go to California and train. I would not do this much traveling for any other role. I really wouldn't. I very much believe in what we're doing. And, as trite or as cliche as it may sound, to see a world set free in our lifetime, I need to be able to do what I am good at that can help people go out and make a difference in their everyday, in their neighborhoods. And training was what I landed by the end of Gary Johnson's campaign, or by September. I was the national trainer on all the apps for Gary Johnson. So we had 60,000 volunteers. Yeah. And so I was training the trainer so they could all go off and train, but I was still hosting those trainings every night too, to try and capture people that had just hopped in. And it's been the utmost of privilege to be in this role, and I take it so very seriously. I mean, this is too important, right? I got involved because I had a kid and she was in kindergarten, and I stay involved now for everybody else's kids. And then last year I had an increase in reasons. I have a little grandson, so I have to try.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I encourage folks to join you and I and all the other LPers out there in making a difference in their neighborhood. And Josh, I appreciate you and your entire family and what you guys do up in the Dayton area.
And remember, all you guys watching at home, remember, more hands make lighter work. So, more we can get people involved, more that you can commit any amount of time to the LP outside of your normal working schedule, your normal family schedule. We greatly appreciate it. So, please reach out to any one of us. We will be happy to get you plugged into your local communities, or get you the information on how to start a local affiliate or local, if you're interested in starting a campaign, steps in getting that going in the right direction. So.
And if people forget my email, you can go to the info at LP, or you can go to the staff link, right?
Yep.
And there is a contact us, and you will see my hair looks much better in the picture. It's more like this, but you won't be able to miss all the curls. It's very clear that is me.
All right. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us this week. I really appreciate it. Any other parting words for us?
We are going to be the change that we wish to see in the world, and just encourage everybody to join us. And thank you for having me on, David.
Hey, no problem. I've been really looking forward to having you on and getting more information out to people about what this regional, I mean, I can talk about the regional training every week, but getting somebody there that's doing it and explaining why this is important. Sometimes I'm kind of a lunkhead, so I don't do that well, but I wanted to get somebody on here that really kind of crystallizes why people should do it, because I went to it last week and I had a tremendous time. I learned so much, and I think if I'm learning a bunch of stuff, then if you haven't been involved in the LP that long, you're going to learn so much. I mean, it's almost a fire hose, but it's all great information and stuff that you can take back to your local campaign or your local affiliate. But,
and we bring pens, and we have paper for you to write on, even, and a binder to keep your training in. So we have that full package for you folks.
Yep, Tim, I will be hitting you up fairly soon about the candidate form. It's going to be in September. So
I got a couple from Ohio too. I need to hook up with you.
All right, excellent. Yep, we might do a 2-hour show for that one. So, but. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on the Political Deep Dive. I don't have a guest yet for next week, so just stay tuned to our Facebook pages and Twitch or wherever you're consuming us from, and we'll be happy to get you that information as soon as it's available. But thanks to everyone who has joined us this evening. Let me clear out some stuff here. And we'll see everyone next week, Sunday night at 8 p.m. on the Political Deep Dive. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the Political Deep Dive. We air every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can get regular updates on our show and our guests by following us on social media on Facebook.com/thepoliticaldeepdive, all one word, on Twitter.com/politicaldeep, all one word, on YouTube.com/Papaduke, PAPADUKE, on Twitch.tv, The Political Deep Dive, all one word. And on Mondays, the audio of this episode is uploaded to SoundCloud.com/The Political Deep Dive, all one word. And you can join in on the fun on Instagram.com/The Political Deep Dive, all one word. The best way to support the Liberty Movement is to join the Libertarian Party at lp.org. Give us a like, a share, and a subscribe on whatever platform you're watching from. It helps extend our reach, and we greatly appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.